Okay. Let me start up a party so I know my audio is coming through. Sweet. Now I'm going to open up my stream. Basically, I have to work till midnight starting at 4. So, yeah. So I've got about an hour and a half, which I'm definitely not streaming the full hour and a half and gonna be late to work, but I figure I did a 4-hour stream of fucking Assassin's Creed Odyssey last night, and I finished the first area. And then I did like 30 minutes of fucking Agents of Mayhem, I think. Maybe 30 minutes to an hour of it, I don't know. Because I think I might have done 2 streams. Yeah, I did 2 streams because when I came back, Juicy was there. Was it 2 streams? Maybe, I don't remember. It could have just been 1. My Twitch will tell me. Yeah, I did 2 streams. So I streamed for about 5.5 hours yesterday, which was nice. It was really nice, I enjoyed it. For some reason my fucking Twitch won't open up my... There it goes. I'm gonna do a quick audio test, and I will be talking today while playing some Black Ops, relaxing. Okay, my voice sounds perfectly pleasant. You can still probably tell I'm sick, but not sick enough to not work, which is what I'm gonna do today. So currently my work schedule and stuff is fluctuating, and I'm fixing to get ready to go back to school again. And I gotta finish all that shit up. So what it's looking like stream schedule wise, I'm gonna probably end up streaming a lot in the daytime, like early to mid, and then on days I don't work I'll be streaming mid to night. And if I feel like it, sometimes I might stream after midnight like I did at my old place. It's just my sleep schedule's changed. Stuff's not all the same. I'm just getting adjusted, so as it goes I'll keep you informed.
They're late.
Oh, what the fuck? I missed all those. But I felt like just playing something kind of casual today, just regular team deathmatch on Black Ops. Sometimes I get heated when I play any of the other game modes just because. But I think they've kind of tweaked some shit, so everything should be running fine. Because it was a bit laggy, but now I've got decent Wi-Fi. So hopefully that works out.
Nine going in. Hostile down.
God damn it, I had to reload. So I'm kind of doing just a regular talkative stream. I'm trying to get back in touch with a lot of my old friends from over here. The problem is, like, all of them play fucking PlayStation.
Online.
And I remember why I didn't hop into Xbox online, because I didn't really give a shit, because I was mostly playing single players. That was back when Xbox had most of the exclusives and PlayStation did. Now it's kind of the other way around, but like, just because you have more doesn't mean it's great. So I like PlayStation for the single player. I like, because I do not. Like, I'm not a big fan of the series, and not a big fan of that other series. Oh God. I have to reload. Well, and nobody spawned. That sucks. Charted in the...
Hostile circling.
Fuck, I can't remember.
Enemy lightning strike radar detected. Hostile incoming.
Oh, you gotta be fucking
Enemy
with me. You already
hellstorm
have that.
detected.
Anyway, this stream's gonna probably take about 30 minutes to an hour. Just depending. My streams seem to be holding up. If anyone ever notices like problems with my stream, like laggy or anything like that, let me know.
Hostile UAV
Because
circling.
currently I have Verizon, and Verizon
Hostile lightning strike targeting
like certain
active.
areas of Oklahoma, and I'm in one of those
Hostile
fucking
lightning strike
areas.
incoming. Hostile
So, like,
targeting active. Enemy
Certain
lightning
things
strike
tweak the
inbound.
fuck out of my phone. And I am rusty.
Enemy lightning strike radar detected. Enemy hellstorm detected.
Damn it.
There goes me
Did I
bottom
come in
line.
mid-game? Yeah, I did. Wow. I was wondering, that felt a little weird.
Tally 1.
Fucking game of zombies that are like fucking mushrooms and shit, and it's like the end of the world, and your daughter dies, so then you take up. Oh, I know what her name is. Her name's effing Ellie or some shit like that. Oh no, I've got the pixelated distortion. Fuck. Well, my phone's not connected to the Wi-Fi. The only thing that should be connected to my Wi-Fi is just my console. I don't know. It looks like it's running good, but like, I think games like this and certain others, man, they'll really fucking lag it out. I hope my Fallout streams are gonna be okay, because I think my Assassin's Creed Odyssey stream the other day was fine. You know, I'm gonna try to hop back into more single-player games, just because I feel like I've kind of had a falling out with some of my friends. Besides the roommate ones, that's a whole different story that I vented on in one of my Mayhem videos. Just kind of let all that shit come to light. I think Logan's currently mad at me because last time we played Fallout I was overweight and refused to drop my shit. And he died, and he kept blaming it on us, and then he just left, so I don't think he's super happy with me currently. Hopefully when I start, if I'm on when Sean gets on, I think is the problem, because I think I'm going to start playing more with Sean. And I know I'm going to keep playing with Juicy, but it looks like I might start playing more with Ritz and Thomas or Ragnar.
Reach and clear.
Just changing stuff up, and I've like been talking to a lot of my old friends, so I might start playing Fortnite just because it's cross-platform and I can play it with my PlayStation buddies that I went to school with back in like junior high, in like younger years. So I'm gonna give that a shot. So yeah, my dog's doing good. She's finally getting
Team
adjusted to being up
deathmatch.
here. I think it's a bit
Rack
of
time's over.
a wake-up deal for
Do or die.
me to realize how much better it was just for me to get out of all that shit situation I was in.
Laser wears up.
Oh, come the fuck on.
9 banks good
My
to go.
dog's obedience training, I think, is pretty much over. I think she's gotten everything straightened out. I just had to get a bunch of bugs out from whenever my roommates were, like, being assholes, nearly killing her, and mistraining her a lot. She, when I say mistrain, I mean, like, they were letting her have way too much fucking freedom. She wasn't listening, and she started getting snippy with people, and
Throwing 9 banks.
it's a big dog, right? God, they're traveling in pairs. So,
Hostile TAC deploy beacon online.
I don't think I'm ever gonna talk to any of the guys I live with again. That was a pretty shitty situation. Maybe Ryan,
UAV
but other
circling.
than that, the rest of them probably.
Hostiles have established multiple UAVs.
I don't kind of give me over a second chance. That's how I've always been. I don't give second chances. If you want something, you earn it. That's how I've always been.
Hostile lightning strike targeting active. Enemy lightning strike in place.
The job's been going good.
Net call.
I'm working part-time,
Hostile
200 a week. I spend about 100 on
Hostile lightning
groceries.
strike active.
So that's a lot of saving.
Hostile,
Probably gonna have to buy
hostile
books
inbound.
again, which it'll cut into me again. But for now, I think I'll be fine. Damn it. Me and my dad, I guess, are doing a little better. Not super close anymore. Just because it's been also finally going through some fucking divorce and bullshit like that with her third husband. Technically, she married my like dad actually twice.
Chucking
So,
9 bank.
you know, a lot of people's lives are going to shit around, and what? Sniper rifle, you ass.
Utilizing TAC deploy. Zone hot.
Sighted.
Activating
Friendly
barricade.
TAC deploy beacon offline.
I am not doing super good today. Although it's been a while since I played an actual shooter. I've been playing a lot of single player and fighting games. Kind of
Enemy
happens to me. It
sniper's
takes me
nest
a while to
in.
get back.
Hostile UAV circling.
Are you fucking with me? I'm hoping to kind of build up my like friend group so that way
Enemy RCXD in your
we can
AO.
all start playing multiplayer games together again. It's just that 1 week I was gone, there was a whole lot of
Turn this
disconnect,
around.
so
Bring
I
on
don't
the
currently
bacon.
know what's going on with everybody. Lack of
Building
internet.
barricade.
People say that like that shit shouldn't mean anything in it, internet and stuff.
9
Waste
bank
and
out.
stuff. It's how a lot of people communicate. So like a week without it, man, that can fuck with like a whole lot of knowing what's going on with people and stuff like that.
Be advised. Hostile TAC deploy beacon active. Enemy UAV above.
Deploy beacon online.
Whip on me? Yeah, he did.
Enemy lightning
that's what-
strike radar detected.
Pick it up.
Hostile lightning strike incoming.
Jesus
That one
Christ,
hurts
why am
our
I in this
reputation.
lobby? These guys are like super prestiged and I've got casuals and not a full squad. These guys are like doubles and triple prestiges. I had one guy who like 2 guys who didn't even like technically play. God. You know, all these new games coming out is also kind of really messing with me because I like want to do shit, but then there's all these fucking new games, and like I know I like one more than the other, etc., etc., and like I'm just kind of worried that like whenever I get to Kingdom Hearts, it's like all I'm gonna be fucking playing. Phone daddy, that's funny. About halfway through the stream, coming up on maybe a third. No, it's just shit's been a little weird and wonky lately. It's been a real adjustment, and I mean like I was talking to Juicy about it the other day, like running across like old friends and seeing their lives go to shit in these rural communities. Man, it's really depressing. It really is, and you know, I've been going through hell because, like, while I was up in Hayes, I know I wasn't having the best luck
Team
with dating.
deathmatch.
I ended up finding, like, really fucking weird chicks and shit like that. And
Special
now that
forces
I'm
are cleared to
dating
engage.
here,
Assess
it
the
doesn't
target
help,
away.
one, because there's not a whole lot of people. It's harder to meet people down here, shit like that. Not in a bad place mentally, but not. Oh, Josiah messaged me. I'm not super, like, happy. I'm about neutral, but probably like one thing away from kind of getting a little upset. Let's see.
9 bangs out.
Hey, Josiah joined. What's up?
Battery dropped.
Hello, Josiah. What's up? No shit.
Firing suspect.
Yeah, no, I got my Wi-Fi and shit set up all down here, and I got my job and
Hostile
stuff set
battery
up,
down.
and now I just gotta get all my classes and stuff set up, and I'll be good.
Hostile.
I transferred Loves, and it's been going pretty good. The house is going pretty good. My dog isn't like, I'm not worried that someone's gonna kill my dog anymore or mistreat her or do dumb shit with her. So, you know, feeling a lot better in all honesty.
Enemy.
Guyman. Yeah. No. With my widowed grandmother, and I just kind of pay. I pay for Wi-Fi and help her out with stuff. Yeah. So I make like $200 a week only because I make more than $9 an hour, and I've already got offered like, or at least that I've got a promotion on the way working at the current Loves I'm at, and every 3 months you get a pay raise, so pretty nice.
Mesh mine disarmed.
No, it's a lot. Oh, it is. It's run a lot. Dude, they're making like a couple mil a year. So
Gotcha.
they're doing pretty good. It's a pretty good highway town too, which helps. But they also run like they run a Godfather's, a Chester's Chicken, and oh, what the fuck is it? It's oh, Love Subs. Instead of like a Subway, they do their own like version of a Subway. The sandwich, the full size of a sandwich is 6-inch, but it's not like as wide as a Subway sandwich, but it's still filled and they're still pretty fucking good. The ingredients are all nice and fresh and shit. All the people I work with are chicks, so that's like I guess a plus.
Move on.
A few of them are my age. Yeah, most of them are chicks. A few of them are my age, but they're all like dating someone, so I'm not worried about it. Dating in the workplace is like pretty much prohibited by Loves anyway. One of them's dating one of the pieces of shit I used to go to school with, and I've run across a lot of like my old friends, and their like lives have gone to shit, and I'm just like, oh. And like all the jock kids, they're all like dead on drugs, died of drugs, or have a kid that they can't take care of because they can't get a job. So, you know, coming back to kind of a big realization for me, like all these people got fucked. Well, I mean, I got fucked on like a roommate perspective. Like, you know, like I was having a job issue, I was having problems with school, and like I should not have been paying $600 a fucking month. Especially when like 250 to 300 of it was groceries I didn't even use.
Hostile recon kill.
Dude, if it was just Ryan, I would have been fine. Like Ryan gets pissy and pisses me off, and he's like very like smart aleck, but like I don't know, near the end, dude, like me and John started fighting. Yeah, cause he was like telling me shit about my dog, and I was like, basically what happened was like, he kind of pulled this thing where like, I told John, I'm like, hey, we're fixing to move, and I let him know for a while and stuff, and I'm like, you didn't listen to me whenever I was training my dog, so now my dog's a bit obedient, and the same with like Tony and Ryan, because you know how it got to the point where it was like, every time I came home, I had to whoop my dog's butt because she'd pissed and shit, and she was waiting by me by the front door because no one would take care of her, and I had that one rule, if you're gonna watch her, leave her out of her pen. Well, in the end, John started making like smart aleck remarks about, oh, I thought you wanted your dog to be a guard dog and shit. I'm like, I wanted my dog to be a guard dog, but you and Tony fucking ruined her. And John was getting pissy with me. And like the days I was packing up and getting all my shit together, they were asking me to do shit for the house. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to fucking leave. And he kind of pulled like a deal where he didn't go like full frontal where he's like, dude, I want your dog, but he was like pulling some sneaky little shit the last few days, and I just kind of told John to fuck off because he started letting this hobo live with us and shit, and was like being nicer to him and shit, and like offering to help him out and stuff like that. And I'm like, I would listen to John's offers, and the hobo guy's like, what do you mean? I'm like, he told me I'd only ever have to pay $250 in rent and groceries. Yeah, that's a fucking lie. And then I just told John to fuck off one day. Like, it got to the point where, like, I'm pretty sure I'm just done with John and Tony. Because, for the last month, his fucking cousin was stealing my dog shit and, like, giving it to her dog. Like, dude, she pretty much, like, stole, like, at least $100 of shit from me. Like, over the period of the entirety of me being there, at least 100. Probably more around 150. And I kept catching her and she kept telling me John told her to do it. And when I confront John, John's like, yeah, I told her she could. And I'm like, John, you don't buy these things. You sometimes buy dog toys, which is fine. They can have the fucking dog toys. I bought my dog a fucking rope that was $12. I don't give a fuck. But like, no, it was pretty bad. And I got out of there, and I'm glad I'm out of there, because, dude, that shit was... The stress from that, work and school, I just could not cope with.
Yeah.
Shot out.
I bet if you would
Not
have,
helping.
like, I bet if you had a like, situation, I bet everything else would have been decent.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you would have had, like,
At least decent.
yeah, you would have been
More time to
less-
focus on school. Because the original agreement was this, I would pay him with what I'd make from part-time. Instead, he kept asking for more and getting upset. But then he had made offers, like, if we do chores, he would cut off on rent, but I was the only one who ever did chores, and he fucking lied to me and shit like that. So, like, in the end, it was just, like, a bunch of fake, empty promises, and I was just kind of getting pissed off. And, I don't know if me and Logan are still, like, buddies or anything, just because, like, Logan got really pissed off at me the other day. Or, like, before I got off for a week when I was getting my Wi-Fi set up.
Oh, really?
Because, oh, yeah. Okay, so the new Fallout came out. And, like,
Yeah.
me, Juicy, and everyone's fucking playing it, enjoying it. I got it for my brother. I bought it for my brother during Black Friday. I fucking love the game. And they're still, like, they're adding stuff to it. All the DLCs are free. There's a lot of potential for it. Right now, it's kind of a little empty, but, you know, you can work through some shit. And,
Stack up, wait for my go.
do you have your audio included, by the way?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm streaming and I didn't know if I sound weird. I always have to ask Logan, but anyway, they've got a carrying capacity problem right now in Fallout, so they're gonna bump the amount of storage you can have just because junk weighs so fucking much. So I was like trying to haul that stuff all the way across the map back to my base, and Logan was telling me to fast travel on him, and I couldn't. And Logan kept dying and running off and doing shit, not telling any of us what he was gonna do. And then he kept blaming it on us and getting pissed off, and then he just like straight up left the party.
Team
Yeah,
deathmatch.
that's...
And my brother was in the background laughing his
Government
ass
troops,
off, and I just
liquidate
told
all
Bryce, I'm like, dude,
hostiles.
this shit happens, but like,
That's...
ever since then, Logan has like not talked or anything. Sean and my brother are getting along though, and Sean looks like he's kind of separating more from Logan and Slade.
We're winning
Yeah,
this.
I think once Logan moves up here, which I think he's doing in like a few months, like literally
I think
next
like
month,
I
he'll
saw
be fine.
he sent me a Snapchat a little while back saying like, dude, I just got here or some shit, and like
bangs
making a
up.
joke that like I'm not in Hayes anymore, and he's like right at the Hayes sign or whatever.
Yeah, no, I think beginning of spring semester he'll be into the dorms, and then he is taking over my half of the lease
Chucking 9 back.
come like June.
You're half of the lease.
Yeah,
Knock on
I'm
someone's
moving
day.
to. So in June, I'm going to Germany.
Oh
then
yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna do that Germany.
Then I'm studying abroad in Germany too. I got an interview for Thursday.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, that makes
You
playing
think
with you
Avery's
guys.
gonna get
Lost
along with him?
control.
I think Avery will get along with anybody we put in here just because Avery will just stay in his room.
That's fair. Yeah, and that'll open up more time for you to play video games, I bet.
The going to Germany thing?
Yeah.
I don't know how much. Well, yeah, it'll open up a lot because it'll be my senior year, and I think
Hostile UAV
if
circling.
I'm not wrong, I'll have 21 hours that year. So I just don't know how time differences work there. But I want to say it's 8 hours ahead.
9 banks good to go.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll find a way to work it.
I'll find a way. You know,
Deploying
this
laser
weekend,
wire.
next week, I'll have a lot more time to play. Like already for the foreseeable future, because this week is the last week of school before finals. And
Dude, I almost made it to
Hostile
fucking
medic
finals.
wasted.
It was just
You
all that
almost-
shit. I didn't want to like fail all my fucking classes, you know. Like I felt
Yeah.
like my final grades, you know, because they have a final grades have a big impact,
Hostile
and I
lightning
felt that like
strike
I didn't
targeting
have
active.
enough fucking time with all the shit stacking up
Hostile
and all the
lightning
crazy
strike incoming.
dumb shit that
Yeah.
I would be adequately able to prepare for finals without
We
tanking.
pulled ahead.
And I just
Yeah.
took incompletes. And the best part is I still got to keep my financial aid and everything.
nice. Yeah, because I think if you drop too low, they're like,
Kill.
no more financial aid for you.
Yeah, but since I took incompletes and
Netcom.
moved, they're like,
Hostile sentry
understandable.
Understandable, have a nice day. Because you're like, oh no, and
My dad-
just opened up in this program.
And my dad tried like apologizing, kind of. Dad still kind of just said, "You're on your fucking own."
Yeah,
So I'm like, your apology means nothing.
I half understand that whole situation, just from what Bryce has said, I think. What, your dad offered to pay money for you moving up to Hayes and then just
My
didn't?
dad told me that he would pay for my college and shit. He told the entire family, which is the only reason my mom allowed me to like move in with him. And like the moment I moved in with my dad, not for like a weekend, my dad was already trying to get me to move out. And because his wife was a bitch, his still current wife, she's kind of getting some of her shit together, but she's bipolar and she's kind of like a fucking Looney Tune. And
Aren't all women bipolar?
technically no, but I can see where you're coming from. But anyway, it was just a shit show from the get-go, and my dad thinks that like I still owe him shit and stuff like that. Like I've gone out of my way, and like every other weekend I had to like almost move out, so I had to get shit planned only for it to be canceled last moment. It was like, I think I got my marriage in order, and then it's like no, and it's still kind of like that. But he chooses his wife over his kids, so me and my dad have never had the best relationship. And he pulled that stunt, and like just everyone fucking hates him. But his dad defends him, but his mom thinks that it's bullshit. And because his mom went through a similar thing like me, the roommates in the school thing,
Hostile patrol.
like almost an exact same thing. My grandmother, on my dad's side, not the one I'm living with. But yeah.
Hostile UAV circling.
So it's been a bit of a rocky slope, and I'm kind of getting better off with my mom, but she's going through a divorce right now, so it's like, if I'm around too much, it'll piss off her soon-to-be ex-husband. Just because that son of a bitch hates me. You know, abusive stepdad and all. So right now I'm going through all this shit, but I'm not like there 24/7, and I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm working like 20+ hours of loves, which is fine because, dude, I make more than $9 an hour anyway, and it works out with my school. And this loves is so like in well keeping that they're not gonna like force me to work overnights and shit like that. They understand I'm going to school, and they just really need part-time workers. And
That's
like
nice.
I've worked my ass off for like the first week, and I've already been told I'm probably gonna get promotions and shit like that. And I'm like, it's fucking sweet. So it's honestly going a lot better for me, and you know, literally this entire week I've been trying to like reconnect with a lot of my like old friends, and I've run across them all, but their lives aren't really good right now, and most of them play fucking PlayStation.
Fucking playboys.
I'm like, I know why I shit, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you fucking play PlayStation. And they're like, what's so bad about PlayStation? I own an Xbox and a PlayStation, and I'm pretty sure my PlayStation's collecting a mound of dust right now. Because I only ever play the single-player games. You son of a bitch!
I've thought about getting like the Spider-Man game. It was like that thing.
I'm gonna get that eventually because that looked good. But it's like I have the Spider-Man game. I would have the Spider-Man game, and then I would have like 4 other games, like the Ratchet and Clank remaster, Bloodborne, and a few others are like the only reason I got a PlayStation 4.
9 bang
Just
going
for
in.
those specific games.
Yeah, I
Launch Hellstorm on my mark. Got this.
I would-
Charlie Mike.
really get much else for the PS4 besides anything single player.
I really kind of regret buying the PS4. I wish I would have saved my fucking money for a Switch.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they're getting so many fucking games. And then Xbox just bought out a fuck ton of companies, so in the next couple of years, Xbox is going to have the most fucking exclusives.
Yeah. I mean,
Shut down.
Yeah.
because they're just basically going, okay, we have this Game Pass thing. Let's
And dude, they just released Agents of Mayhem on the Game Pass, and I was playing that. That game's good, but it's not multiplayer, which is like the thing that like made everyone like review bomb it.
yeah, if it was
Because it's made by the people who made
UAV
Saints
circling.
Row. It's made by the people who play Saints Row, and it could handle multiple people playing, but they have it set up as you're only one person. It's like, you just wasted like an entire demographic.
so you just wasted that
Hostiles have
that
set up
whole
multiple
potential play
UAVs.
game right now.
which is why that game didn't get like a whole lot of stuff. But since I'm playing it single player and kind of enjoying it, it plays a lot like Saints Row and Crackdown, like had a baby.
I can see that. I think that's what they're going for, honestly.
Perfect planning. Perfect execution.
You know, and
Nice work,
I
Black
was
Ops.
actually just literally before you joined, I was having a talk in my stream, letting everyone know, hey, this is what's going on. I'm thinking like my stream schedule is going to be like this and this for a bit. If you're wondering about why I'm not playing with my friends currently, I need to get back in touch with a lot of them. It's been about a week or two for some, and I said I'm probably not going to get in touch back with any of them in Haze except for I was about to say you and Avery and then Ryan. I got Ryan out, and then you joined the party as soon as I said it, so that's why I was like, oh, hey, Josiah.
I sent you
So
a
it was like
message,
perfect.
I sent you a message
I was like,
saying
oh,
hi.
perfect. So when I went to, when I went and saw the message, you joined like immediately, and I was like, oh, and then you joined, and I'm like, oh shit.
I'm so
But
happy
no,
I timed that.
I know it was timed perfectly, and I know you did not plan for that.
I'm happy
Which makes
I
it
did.
that much more beautiful. But no, my work schedule, since I only work part-time, I kind of work like maybe 4 or 5 days a week. So like I have days off, and the days I work, it's sometimes not even a full shift, but sometimes it is. It's just depending, because I would work evening shifts. So the time I would be most free would be the days I have off, and like sometimes the middays, and I'm going to try to get my classes set up to be like all in the mornings to like reaching the afternoon of where I would start a shift. So it's gonna be kind of weird getting all that shit set in order. But on the days I wouldn't work, I'd be fucking playing hardcore. On the days I would work, I'd be playing like early morning.
Reaching
So
clear.
I was just telling everyone in my stream, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna start streaming like mid-afternoon and morning-ish. And no,
I was gonna say I have my school schedule and most likely my work schedule all set up already for next semester.
I will see what my work schedule is going to start looking like here probably today when I go in, because today was the last day of this week, so I think they're finally going to get shit scheduled out. And then when I go to school, I'm going to put my school schedule around my work schedule. And I'm probably only going to go for like 12 hours, and I'm going to take summer school. Not like in that sense, but you know what I mean. I'm going to take some
They
classes.
have the advantage.
Night.
As a suggestion, as someone who's doing almost the exact same degree as you, it's just I don't have the education part anymore.
You don't have the education part anymore, what do you mean?
So at Hayes, there's history,
Nine
and
banks good to
there's
go.
another degree called history ed. I am just a history major. I'm not a history ed major.
Oh, so you're not going for teaching?
I'm not doing high school teaching.
Uh-huh.
That's what's weird, is that high school teachers require history ed, but college professors
EKIA.
don't. They require doctorates. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, the thing is like Oklahoma did that thing where they like fucked all their teachers over, and now they're getting everything fixed, and now they're giving like free rides and shit. So I like came just at the time for that, and like I've always loved history, so like talk about your history stuff. I'm one of the people who I'm like super invested or interested in your conversations, just because I've always had a good time with history classes and shit. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do teaching for history, because in all honesty, like, I'm tired of psychology and sociology because that shit's fucking slapping me back.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I was gonna...
I'm not one of those people that money's the hugest thing in the world. I know teachers don't get paid a whole lot, but like it eventually stammers off, so you could work like a part-time job, which I'm fine with.
what I was
So
gonna
I'll probably
say
just do that.
for your history thing, I was gonna be like, if they do what Hayes does or something similar to it, because I bet there's gonna be a class
Yeah.
that teaches you how to write history.
Oh,
Now-
thank Christ.
Don't be discouraged, because at least in Hayes, it's at least a 10-page paper that you have to write. But it's going to teach you, they're going to teach you basically like how to suck, they're going to teach you all of it.
And I would
That's
love
the
that,
above.
because you want to know what psychology classes, like the one thing that was fucking me, my psychology classes, they don't teach you the way they want you to write in any preemptive classes. They just assume you know. And when you ask them to help you, they refuse to help. And that was the biggest problem I had with that fucking school. Show me how you do this font. They're like, just figure it out, or go pay $100 to figure it out online. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard a teacher fucking say.
I can definitely tell you how you're gonna have to, like, if you want to know exactly format your paper, I can tell you how to do that right now. It's actually not that hard.
That's pretty fucking great, actually.
Yeah, you already have someone, you already know someone who's already taken, like, all of the 600 level classes, or most of them. And
That's pretty fucking neat.
Yeah, you can be like, hey, Josiah.
I'm a little jealous of you going to Germany, though. I fucking enjoy that shit. You might come back with a German girlfriend.
I might stay in Germany with a German girlfriend. You don't know me.
Dude, I'd fucking do it.
Okay, so there's this gay guy at work. Preface that because it's really funny. He was like, I told him that I'm doing the German trip. He's like, you gotta go up there and have crazy German sex. And I just looked at him like, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, do you not watch porn? And I'm like, not the same as you. He was just like, that's right. Fuck.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Established sniper
There's one of them.
Nomad down.
He was like, yeah, he was like, oh, you going up for crazy German sex? And I was like,
That
No, I'm
sounds
not.
fun, though. But not in the gay sense. Just like in the straight sense. Not dissing on gays, but I like my sex the orthodox way.
can I go be a Russian then?
Fuck off. But no, I wanted to start playing games with you because I know you got super busy with your fucking classes,
Yeah.
and I know that like you didn't get to play games a lot, and I know you were a little bit like you weren't like as miserable as me with a lot of the bad shit, but I know like it was a pain in the ass, and I know that you wanted to play games more.
Oh, like the whole female, like there was a whole massive fucking problem with girls for a while there with me, and I was just like, fuck, I'm done with this bullshit.
What had happened?
Oh, it turns out that she's kind of like,
Hostile
she
CUAV
just wants everyone, like the girl that I was kind of like going after. Turns out she just wants
Interested
like,
in?
everyone. Yeah. Turns out that she just wants like everyone to be her friend, and that's it. She wants no relationship. And then it started to seem like her and another guy are about to get into a relationship. She still tells me they're not, but everyone at work is like, oh yeah, those two are dating. And she's like, no, we're not. But everyone else is like, no, you are.
K9
That's
unit.
real.
You wanna know something really fucked up? I had a girl that I was like talking to and like off and on dating all throughout like my start of high school and then all the way to the end of high school, but once I hit college, she like dropped
Make this
off
look
and
easy.
I guess like she's like had trouble finding work, so I was like messaging her the other day and I was like, hey, you want to go out? Because like I even double checked, I'm like, her profile doesn't say she's dating, and she's like, well actually I've got a secret relationship, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? She's like, well I'm technically dating a guy in New York who I've never seen before and shit, and I'm like, the fuck? And I'm like, why don't you date someone you know? Why don't you want to go out on a date and maybe like have a future with someone instead of a dude who's probably banging tons of chicks in New York? And I'm like, how do you know he's faithful and all that? She's
Now,
like, well, he's a
I
nerd.
don't-
He plays video games, and but she's never seen him. And I think she's only ever talked to him through like Messenger or whatever. I don't even know how the fuck she met him. So she's like,
I need
she's
to know one
she's
thing
like,
real fast.
no one will ever go after him. He's a nerd. Okay, go ahead.
Did you say all of those things to her, like word for word what you're saying now, or did you like politely go like, why are you dating someone from New York?
Oh,
Or did you, like-
I did it the polite way. I wasn't
Okay,
pulling
good.
the whole hashtag nice guy. How I said it was so I asked her if she wanted to chill and maybe try dating, and she's like, I have someone. I mean, I don't mind hanging out, but the dating thing would be a problem. I'm like, oh, you do? Your Facebook didn't have anything on it. I'm sorry. And she went, yeah, it's kind of a secret relationship for both of us. I'm like, why is it a secret? Because parents are stupid. And I'm like, what did they do? And she went,
Reach and clear.
they don't like long distance relationships, and Matthew lives in New York right now. And I'm like, so you've met him in real life? She went, no. And I'm like, and he's the same age as you? And she's like, He's older than
Says he
me.
is.
He's a little bit older than me, like by less than a year, which is better than my last boyfriend who was 9 years older. And I'm like, ooh.
And at that point,
and that one
sirens
apparently,
were going
and
off
it's
in their
and yeah, no, that exactly. And I'm like, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, because apparently this isn't the first like time she's done this. Apparently she did it once before, and I didn't know, but I was told afterwards.
Outside
And
the wire. Get kinetic.
I'm like, but have you ever met him? And he's in New York, right? And she's like, right. I'm like, so you've never met him? And she's like, correct. And I'm like, and he lives in New York? And she's like, correct. And I'm like, how do you know he's gonna like stay faithful, or how do you know that he's the same age as you? You've never met him. You could be getting catfished. And she's like, well, he's probably gonna stay
Ready to
faithful
throw
because he's
non-bang.
practically married to his computer, and I doubt any other girls would be into nerds. And I'm like, there's a whole group of girls that can be into nerds. Sorry to burst that bubble. And I went, so have you finally gotten your like own place and a job and gotten shit straightened out? And she went, no. And
Firing sensor
then it kind of just went off from there. And each time I messaged her, her response made me lose brain
Attack
cells.
deploy beacon online.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
I was just like, are you fucking with me? Oh, no. You wanna know what like really broke my heart? You wanna know what like really broke my heart? Not out of this scenario. This scenario is just like, fuck it, whatever. You're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What really broke my heart is I went
have
into
the
work
advantage.
for the first day, and I met this one chick, and she saw my phone, and she's like, oh, you like My Hero Academia? I'm super into anime. So I'm like, oh no, Hunter, don't be thinking what you're thinking. And she's like, oh, I really love that anime. And then her and me were like talking for a while, and she was like kind of showing me how they do things at their store, and I was open to it just because I knew that we weren't doing shit right at our store. And then, like, dude, I thought we were like hitting it off, and I was like, fuck, I don't think Love's employees can date though. And I was like, but you know what, fuck it, I'd try it. And literally before like I was gonna ask her if she was seeing anybody, her boyfriend walked in, and her boyfriend is one of the piece of shits I went to school with, who like did nothing with his life, and he hasn't had a job since he got out of high school. Keep in mind, it's been 2.5 years since I was in high school, and he just now got a job, and they don't even know if he's gonna keep it. And he's like a super druggie, and apparently he's been like dragging her into drugs further and further. And I'm like, you've ruined her. And so the other coworker's like, did you like her? I'm like, kinda. And they're like, what'd you think of her boyfriend? I'm like, kinda dumb. And then she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, he was one of the kids that I went to school with, and I was like, and we had like a list of people who should never be allowed to reproduce. Yeah, he was on that list.
Oh yeah, there's me and Avery got two like people from high school. Oh yeah, you go first.
Oh, okay. Well, when I come down here, you know how I said I was going to transfer to another love. That wasn't my prior objective. Like, I was going to try that, but I was down to, like, get a new job. The other jobs I went to do was working for a furniture store, but keep in mind, this is a town I used to live in and go to school at. All the people who worked at the furniture store were also ex-classmates, and they were super druggies, and apparently we'd have to share road trips. So I decided, I'm probably not going to do it, because if they had drugs on them, I would get charged. And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking do that shit. I'm not going to drive with him. And she was complaining that they're lazy and they don't want to do their work, but that's all she can get. And I'm like, you want to know the reason you can't get more work? And she's like, what? And I'm like, because you have them working for you, and they're a liability of their own. And she's like, they can't be too bad in that sense. But she still despises them, but she's still kind of defending them. And I'm like, whatever. So I chose Love's. Literally, the second day I was working at Love's, one of those fucking dipshits comes in without an ID trying to get smokes. I know he was old enough, but I need his ID. I need your ID for smokes and cigs. I don't push that deal, because if any chance we get a sting, I have to pay money, I have jail time and all that. I'm not even going to risk it. Even if you're 80 fucking years old, I won't give you it without an ID. Which pisses a lot of the people in the town off, because most of them are predominantly illegal. But anyway, he comes in without an ID. He's like, dude, I just got out of the county penitentiary or whatever. He's like, I just really need some cigs. And I'm like, well, that's tough shit. And I was laughing as he left the store. So then he had his girlfriend come in, and I'm like, I know he just tried to come in for cigs. You can't get cigs. And like, they both were pissed and left. And I was like, oh my fucking god, this is precious. That one moment where you're an asshole, but you know you're in the right.
Yeah, that one moment that you get to be an asshole, and you're gonna get no repercussions for it because you are right. It feels nice.
Oh no! And when I was going to go get Wi-Fi put in and stuff, I had to go to the fucking lie down, dog.
Tempest up.
Lie down. I had to go in and talk to the guy to get everything signed, and then they were asking for credit, and I'm like, can I just pay in cash? And then and they were like, well, it's against policy, so they checked my credit, and I don't have a credit card, but apparently I still have a credit score, and it's not terrible, so they signed me up. I had to pay a liability cost because I don't have like a credit card and do a whole lot of transactions. But anyway, one of the fucking funny things is he found out I was from Ulysses, so he asked me. And this is all within the first week I'm down here. All this funny shit just keeps fucking happening. I'm running into all these fucking dipshits and like knowing that they're fucking terrible. He asked me, he's like, oh, you're from Ulysses originally, and that's where you came into it. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, do you know Diego? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what'd you think of him? I play him in softball because apparently he plays in like an adult league of softball just for fun. And I'm like, well, I know he's a piece of shit. And he gives me like this weird stare. And he's like, oh, I never thought that. I thought he was a nice guy. And I'm like, this man, and I went while sitting in the Verizon store, and everyone around me could hear me. I'm like, this person that you're calling cool, when I was in high school and I was dating someone, he didn't like the idea of anyone else having women, so he would go around and steal other people's girlfriends. So after I got out of a date with my girlfriend and dropped her off at home, he watched me leave in my vehicle, picked her up, went to have sex with her, dropped her off, and never talked to her again, and ruined that relationship. Also, the motherfucker just had a kid and can't keep a job, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna die because he's not staying in that fucking relationship anyway. He's gonna die malnourished, without food, and his kid's gonna be sitting there wondering about where his fucking dad is. So if you're gonna ask me about people in my fucking town and you think they're so fucking great, I'm gonna burst every fucking bubble you have. And this dude's sitting there across from me like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not in the mood to talk about people from fucking Ulysses. I'm from here. That should give you a clear hint. I don't like people who are also from here. Because I was the only person who was smart enough to fucking leave.
Yeah. Well, so you're not back in Ulysses, but you're back like...
I'm back in Guyman, yeah.
Guyman, Oklahoma. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. But go on about your thing with you and Avery or whatever.
Oh yeah, me and Avery got into like a little bit of a fight over our hometown because I hate it. Like,
and he
hate
loves
the
it,
entire town. Yeah, and he like loves it. And I'm like, no, everyone from
to be fair though, like
assholes.
Avery's like an antisocial, popular kid, so I'm pretty sure like he probably got along with the assholes. I love Avery to death, but like Avery's one of those guys that like is in the group, doesn't talk, but that's all he needs.
Yeah, Avery says like, oh no, I
Stack
was
up, wait for
like,
my gun.
Avery says like, oh, I wasn't popular, and he was bullied in high school or something. And I was like, I don't really think so. It's like, did everyone else call like I was called slavery, and I'm like, no, you're called savory. Yeah, no, we got to
Savory?
Yeah, savory wedges.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
No, but like,
Team deathmatch. Black Ops, weapons free.
but yeah, no, like he says like how he's like unpopular and shit. But he's like, he's not. Everyone's like,
I know
hey,
Avery wasn't
so
unpopular.
funny.
Every time Avery talks about that shit, I'm just like, dude, I know Avery's not unpopular. Avery's the quiet guy that can still be popular.
Yeah, Avery's like, everyone at work is like, Avery's really funny. I'm like, Avery doesn't say shit. He bounces off of me most of the time. The funny shit Avery does is typically because like I tell him to do it.
I know. You
And
know,
Avery just
like,
goes along with that shit, but like that's his best thing. Like the fucking best part about Avery is that you say something stupid, he's like, bet, I'm doing it.
Avery's that guy. It's like, well, if you'll do it, I'll do it.
No, he's the guy that you walk up to and you're like, I have a stupid idea, and he's like, done, I don't care. What is it? It's just like, okay.
That was easy. No, I love Avery to death. He's a cool guy, but like I could tell that that's how he had been prior. So like, you telling me that isn't a shocker for me. I'm already well aware.
Yeah.
I'm sure it might like other people might be like, what or whatever. I'm well aware that that's not how it is. And
there were a few girls today talking about how they wanted to take Avery and like fuck with his eyebrows.
Fuck with his eyebrows.
Yeah. And I was like, this is a weird
What's
conversation.
so bad about his eyebrows?
Well, he's got this like big bushy eyebrows, and everyone's like, I want to take him. I want to put like mascara in his eyelashes and like do stuff with his eyebrows because he Apparently they're like, yeah, his eyebrows are like the best for modeling stuff or something. And it's just like, yeah,
shit.
Avery, you were real unpopular. You could literally get any girl if you just show up. Apparently he's already.
Didn't he
had
like
a
have a
hookup.
girl at the? Oh, I bet he has. Didn't he already like nearly have a girlfriend like within the first 2 days of school that he didn't want to go out with because
he had
of
a
her hair
girlfriend.
color?
He had a girlfriend before he fucking showed up here because she was at the cheer tryouts 2 months before we even moved here. And Avery's just like, oh yeah, I'm unpopular. It's just like, no the fuck you ain't, bitch boy.
Oh, I fucking know. Well, you know, Josiah, I'm super excited that hopefully you'll be able to play more games here in the future. Because, like, in all honesty, like, Sean and me, we get along, but, like, Sean has his temperamental moments, and I just, when he gets pissed off, I just straight up tell him, I'm like, dude, I'm not dealing with this, and I'll just leave. And Logan has the same problem, but, like, I feel like if you take Slade out of the equation with Logan, it pretty much just fixes itself.
Well, like you hadn't hung out with him before he started like living at Slade's.
I knew him before he started living at Slade's.
But like you
I talked to him before he started living
Oh, you
at Slade's.
have?
I played games with him more than anyone else before he started living at Slade's. What had happened
Yeah,
was
but-
this, Ryan had introduced me to your guys' group. And that was about the time you decided to drop off. And me and
Because of
Logan, dude, we really
a lot of
fucking
stuff.
hit it off. Like, Logan was my best, like my best friend out of the group at the time. And that was back whenever he still had his shit together and he was dating that one girl or whatever.
Yeah, which I
And
think
then shit
she
just went to
broke up with
fucking
him.
hell. Yeah, she broke up with him. I think a lot of it had to do with he was having trouble finding work, and she just was
And they
like
just-
super eager to just drop the relationship.
Yeah. But like
It was a
remember him in Emporia and remember him and hear him now, and he does not sound like the
there's
same person.
there's so much of a difference. It's almost disgusting. Like it can make a man sick.
Yeah, like you just see the influence that Slade has done to him.
Well, I think
And
the
it's-
problem is like Logan used to be upset that he like didn't have a job and stuff. And like he was trying to better himself for his girlfriend. Now he's got nothing to better himself for, and like Slade doesn't tell him like he's fucking up or anything like that. And Slade constantly just is like, no, you're fine, man, you're fine. But it's like sometimes you got to tell your friends the hard fucking truth. And I think a lot of that is just like I think Slade just fucking has a hard on for him too much that Slade refuses to tell him anything he doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Tomb Raider and the new Dragon Ball Fighter Z or whatever. And I was
Nice.
playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It took me 4 hours just to beat the tutorial island.
I don't know if I'm
No,
happy
but
or
the thing is,
sad about that.
the thing is, I enjoyed it the entire fucking way through.
I
That's just how massive it is.
I picked up a little game recently because it was on sale, and you weren't online when I got online to get it.
What was it?
But I got Red Dead Redemption 2. That's what I'm currently playing right
Fuck!
now.
God,
Like that's what I
really
got.
want to play that. I really want to play that so fucking bad. Like so bad.
Yeah. It's actually really fun. They improved the first person quite a bit already. Like GTA 5's first person was kind of more just like they threw it on. This one was like, no, it's a thing, and you can play the whole game with it if you want to.
If you
There's
want
also
to.
a thing. There's also a thing where you can apparently turn off your radar, and people will instead tell you like landmark directions. Like, okay, what you're
That
gonna want to do
sounds
is you
cooler.
Here, you're gonna want to take a left, and you're gonna. It's like, okay, cool. So you can literally go first person, no radar, and just go, and it's just like, oh fuck.
You want to know how I know gamers have become more stupid? I log into the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's like, choose your difficulty. So I chose my difficulty, and then it's like, do you want normal mode or exploration mode? And I'm like, what the fuck's the difference? And I was sitting here thinking exploration mode was going to be harder, and it would be harder for me to
No.
find shit on the map. You know what exploration mode is?
Is it the enemies are
Um,
easier because you get to walk around more?
No. You have free roam everywhere in that
Well,
game.
I meant more
No,
like.
basically, exploration mode is the dumbest thing because exploration mode is literally. So I didn't know, so I just picked the normal mode. Apparently, the normal mode will give you hints on your destination. Like you should already know where it is and shit.
Oh my god.
I just
are you
thought
fucking
that
serious?
normal mode was supposed to help you out. Yeah, so I'm going to this objective that I already know where it's at. It's got a symbol on the map, but apparently that's not enough. So it gives you hints and talks about the nearby landmarks, and I'm like, I have made a terrible mistake. Because there's just like 4 lines of text on the top left screen that just say, you fucked up. You fucked up.
Says, you fucked up. You fucked
Oh,
up,
you done
motherfucker.
fucked up now.
You done did it.
No, it's just I gotta admit though, like one thing that really added to my depression, and not to make you feel bad or anything, but like one thing that really added to my depression, all that shit, was like you were like my one friend that I like talked to the most when I was up there and shit, and then when you got busy and I didn't really have anybody, dude, it went to shit in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It was not your fault. It was just that. In all honesty, like fucking Ryan's been my friend for years, and Ryan should have noticed something or said something. And when I was telling him stuff, should have been supportive. Ryan was just, I'm gonna laze about. It was. I don't know. I don't know. Like that whole situation was fucked, especially with like John and his cousin.
Yeah, that
And, like-
situation sounds real fucked.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, she pays her rent, so like I ignored it for the entire time, but I'm pretty sure she wasn't even paying like the same amount as me.
You were the brown.
But
boy
to be
for
fair-
being dry.
Pretty much. And Ryan didn't give a shit because
His parents pay.
Ryan's parents were paying for it. But apparently, you want to know what the biggest red flag for me was? Is the last 2 weeks I was there and I was venting about it. Like, God, I feel like this really fucked me in the end. Tony, like, eyes got big when I said how much I had to pay. And I was like, you know what? And he's like, but that was for groceries. And I'm like, you know what's funny, Tony? What groceries do I get? And Tony sits there and kind of like squints, and I'm like, the only thing I fucking eat in this house is I drink apple juice. Sometimes I occasionally share in the string cheese, and I'll eat microwave burritos. How is that $250 a month? And he just looks at me, and yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what I fucking thought, you bitch.
Yeah, like the thing that pissed me off is like in the end they became bigger assholes because I just got tired of their shit, so I would call them out on it, and the moment they realized that they were dicks, they just decided to embrace it instead of apologize.
They were like, oh, I guess we're dicks.
And the biggest shock for me, the biggest shock for me was like, dude, when John went along that way, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude? I thought you were the cool one. At that point, I was like, I'm glad I'm done here because like, the hobo dude that came by like for the last 2 weeks I was there, John was offering him like to pay rent and stuff and replace me when I was gone, and John was saying out loud like what it would take and stuff like that, and John was already making him better offers, and this guy wasn't a hobo because he didn't have money and didn't have a job. He was just in between moves and he was having problems with his landlord.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, I know how important I am. That's a
Dude,
big
feel
showstopper.
bad.
Anyway, yeah, so I tried talking to Juicy about it, but you know how Juicy is. Juicy listens, but then Juicy like stops listening because he likes to be an asshole. How many of my stream?